best joke.
Yeah, it's about the quality level of my jokes.
Where the stream kicked on.
Excellent.
So if anybody would like to volunteer for a little itty-bitty recap,
yeah, we did a recap last time, because Athy was not there for the time before that when everybody took drugs. So we did a recap last time, but we didn't broadcast it. So
oh yeah.
So people that are watching are probably, few, number one. And number two are going to come into this a bit of a few steps after the last episode. Because there was a decision made on 1218, zoomed back to life after an episode of not guarding the humans as they took their drugs and did their things.
And look where it got us.
Needed a nap, and look what happened.
No more rests for 1218.
No rest for the Reboot.
Updating 111 out of 1,236. A recap of the recap is we fought some bears, we took some drugs and solved a mystery. A gasoline mystery, or jet fuel mystery. Turns out it can melt steel beams. Was that a facepalm? Was that an audible facepalm from somebody? I appreciate that. Thank you. When 1218 kicked back on, we filled 1218 in and made a decision to...
Much disappointment.
There was... I don't know what you're talking about. Why are you disappointed in? Anders says, still doing suicide sprints in the cave. Getting to that, we decided that it was getting late in the day, and we weren't going to be able to make real significant progress against the power of our mysterious human. And so we decided, okay, let's find some place to hunker down for the night, which was a cave that was formerly full of burrs, and head to Sans Rest in the morning. Yes? Sans Rest?
Yes.
Yes, Sans Rest. In the back of the cave, we found a rock that could move, well, potentially be moved, to expose a deeper cavern. And we just might find out what's in that cavern. This time on The Burning Winds!
Yay, recaps are good.
I am well caffeinated today.
Huzzah. Is that through chocolate or coffee or both?
Probably both.
Wait, I'm sorry. I need to clarify. Is this Anders is caffeinated? Is that why he's doing laps? Or,
I don't know what you're talking about. I just feel really, really good this morning. Must have slept very well.
Well, you guys did sleep a long rest amount of well, so...
Does anybody smell toast?
Alright, yeah, so you guys took the benefits of a long rest. Julie and Bishop seemed to be still sleeping a little bit, although I think Julie was sleeping in her tree away from you guys, if I remember correctly. So she looks kind of like she's staring at you. Maybe she drew some eyes on her eyelids, so she closes them, but it still looks like she's watching you. Doesn't trust. And Bishop is just, he had a really hard day, so it makes sense that he's still a little sleepy. But, yeah, Anders, you're doing your laps, and every time you round the rest of the sleeping party, You kick up a little of the gravel and the bits that are inside that cave with you guys. And some of them kind of hop, skip, and seem to go a distance past that big boulder that you were kind of leaning up against as you slept last night. And it doesn't bounce off of it. It goes somewhere behind it, as if, like, there's open space behind it. There is no fear of burrs coming back, because, you know, you guys slaughtered them all, so... You know, no big deal. And Casey, just, you know, for purposes, has bought you guys a full fusion core now.
Oh,
So-
fantastic. We found one in like a pile of dung in the bear cave.
Yeah, it's really gross. It looks like it was kind of chewed on a little bit, but yeah, it's pretty intact and pretty darn full. If it sloshes, it does that. I don't know, like, there's no liquid, right? I don't... it just feels heavier or better. Or has a label that says full on the side of it.
Its digital readout reads 4 bars.
That. Well, after you smoosh the poop away, it reads 4.
Yeah, naturally.
Yeah. Yeah, but whoever wants to discover that on their laps around or wakings ups.
Not Anders.
Yeah, you feel like you could take on the world. I mean, you had that little hit yesterday, and it didn't knock you out like it did before. You just feel like you're stretching your legs. You're eager to go. What do you guys do when you wake up? This is probably your first time waking up out in the complete wilderness. No tent. Alright, so a couple more hours go by. You guys are still sleeping. Let me know what you guys want to do. Like I said, because we're down a couple people, we're gonna try and get through as much as we can of the original plan. And we'll try our best, you know.
And was to attempt
Jack, sorry.
to move the giant stone thing
Yes.
in the morning.
Yeah.
Everyone is awake. They're gonna do that. I think 1218's gonna settle the Liam corpse somewhere in the cave, and I don't know, like, is there like any way, like stray boulders or something to hide him behind, just to
Yeah.
stick him in a safer place?
Yeah, I mean, he sticks out a little bit. There's none quite as tall as the one that seems to be blocking some other space over here, but there's other large boulders that you can kind of slump him behind. I mean, there's bear poop and leaves if you want to use some of those, and twigs. I don't know. I mean, you can describe how well you'd like to hide him, but you can definitely shove him
really
behind
need
some.
to do like a whole thing to hide him, because there's no trail leading to this place that anyone could follow. They kind of fumbled through the woods until somebody spotted it. So
That is true. The
cave itself is kind of you gotta either know it's there or be looking for it.
or be one of the 3 bears you slaughtered. Yes.
Yes. So
Yeah, so you appropriately tend to Liam's corpse. Are you guys getting rid of anything else as your guys are kind of like, oh, I see that boulder, all right, if we're doing this? Are you guys just keeping everything on you? I believe 1218 was holding a majority of the stuff, or Bishop.
Look at that boulder. That is a nice boulder.
Ethan would probably like set down the tent. Not quite necessary. And it's big and bulky. Not set it up, mind you, but just place the
Oh,
walls.
yeah. I assume that anything you guys are leaving behind, you'll leave, like, with Liam. He'll just... I don't know if 1218 or one of you is talking to Liam like he's still there, but it's just like, all right, you hold on to the tent, Liam. We'll be back. As you discover I think you guys have I fusion core and now a full one as well. I assume you guys aren't letting those go.
No.
Nah, dog.
All right. Okay. So if you guys are done, prepping whatever you want to prep and leaving behind whatever you want to leave behind, feel free to go ahead and give me an athletics, everybody. Everybody. Well, not Liam.
Can I instead help Anders?
It's a group check already, so we're just seeing how well all of you do.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm doing
Not
fine.
too bad. Okay.
Yeah, you're like, no, I'll just support him. I'll like stretch out his shoulders first, but you quickly realize that there needs to be one of you on top and then one kind of rolling from the bottom, and you guys Oh, okay. I saw these two rolls. I'm like, what is he doing? He's clicking the other two that are totally awake and helping. Not much though.
If a little brain did.
Yeah.
Arguably, I would say that only one of them is helping because probably Julie's still coming nowhere near.
Yeah, probably.
That was her stance, and I think it's fair to assume that she would continue that thing of being like, you all are crazy. I'll wait with Liam, my new friend.
Yeah, that's Zach. We got you, dog.
Anders picked up slang over the course of the evening. So you guys, it's takes some sweat and some coordinating, and somebody's foot is definitely landing on 1218's TV screen for a second, but you guys slowly inch this to the side enough. It doesn't really roll so much as just kind of scoot out of the way, and you're able to push it apart about 8 feet. Not completely out of the way, but you can get through. And you... moving this rock, you smell before you can see anything. You smell, mold and fungus. The rest of the forest smelled pretty earthy and wet. This is decidedly, blue cheese levels of funk coming out of this. And it is very dark inside. You can't really see. I don't believe any of you have a dark vision type thing, do you?
No.
I don't believe so. I might need to recheck the document.
Just a glowy face.
And how I don't remember.
Face on.
How far does flashlight face go?
It was one of his mods. Let me see if.
So many mods. But aside from
We
whatever.
really are playing Fallout.
Aside from whatever 1218 is pointing in the direction of, you guys can only see whatever light is provided via the sunlight coming through.
Torch. 30-foot cone. Torch doesn't require you can project bright light in a 30-foot cone and did light for additional 30 feet.
All right, noted. Yeah. So we will keep the light directional to 1218, assuming you guys aren't doing anything else. But when
it says you could control your lights, so he could dim it if needed. Dim it and brighten it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So turn it off in the retail setting.
Like a flashbang.
Alas.
Just one quick.
So Ethan's looking for a rave effect here. He's like, finally, I get the darkness I was looking for.
You control your lights during your turn without using an action, such as dimming them or turning them off, so maybe it's a flash for one round.
You're going to trigger a copyright then.
We installed the light switch.
Yeah, 1218 seems like they would definitely be down for that, too. Definitely the party robot. Anywho, 1218, you peek your head in, and I mean, haven't heard any of you say you're eager to go in, so I'm guessing you guys are kind of stacked up Scooby-Doo style along the side of the rock, peering in. And 1218, you're able to shine your light 30 feet dim in. You guys see inside there, inside of the cave was like wet. There were patches of grass. Part of the jungle was kind of creeping into the cave. There were vines dripping down that kind of covered over the part of the entrance to the cave. But the area that you're seeing peeked into is very rough dirt. Path looks ahead of you, scraped out. It's about, you're guessing anywhere from 5 to 10 feet wide. And it's not rock. It just looks to be dirt with some kind of gravel mixed in. There seems to be along the walls. There's patches of fungus and green plants of some kind growing in the corners that you can see.
Any of those mushrooms I've seen before?
You don't see them, but good God, if it doesn't smell kind of like your breath after you had that one.
Interesting.
Good stuff.
Is Anders' Pip-Boy clickety-clacketing at all?
What was that?
Is Anders' Pip-Boy clickety-clacketing? Any radiation?
No clickety-clacketing right now.
Alright, well.
Yeah, Anders, that thing hasn't been clickety-clacketing consistently for a while, and the music is very intermittent. We're going to move you to something else. Yeah, that damn thing. Maybe you knocked it around when you were on all fours or something. You're not quite sure. But we are going to start you off in this upper corner here. If you guys want to place yourselves up there, I don't want to use dynamic lighting because it makes my brain hurt, but we will do our best to keep the lighting somewhat realistic. And as you guys kind of step in, just be aware of the order in which you are going in. And I believe, this map is sized correctly, so, 5 feet square stuff. Anywho, okay, Anders and Ethan and 1218, as you guys are kind of stepping into there, the second you step like a couple feet in, it gets just you feel like almost a world away from where you were before. The sun was peeking in, waking you up when you were in the little cave alcove entrance there, and it was all very green and felt very alive. But in here, it just feels wrong. It feels wet and like all the life was taken out. You see some greenery in pockets along the edges, but it doesn't feel alive like it did out there. As you step in, you notice along the walls that there are like scuff marks or like pockets dug out, almost as if like when a cart makes grooves in a road, but it's along the sides of the walls. Very uneven grooves, but they exist. Some of the foliage that was growing along the walls and things like that seems to be disturbed by these grooves as well, cut into by them. You guys, we're going to reveal a little more. You guys see on the ground pockets of that like fungusy moss. And where you're at now, you see kind of two different paths and a wall ahead of you here of solid earth. And off in this direction here, 1218, and all of you can kind of see that there's something on the ground here that resembles like blood spots. It looks like dark patches of liquid. And since you don't see any water dropping, you're gonna guess it's that.
1218's like swinging his head down one side and down the other side in a crosses over those blood spots and just stops there and focuses in, like, right on that. Because that
Well,
is
that don't look
suspicious.
For balance, in this direction, you guys see a larger, not huge, but like the one that you leaned Liam against out there, a boulder in this direction. A lot more plants over in this direction, as well as some spider webs.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Get your tiger by the toe.
Left.
Ah, works.
All right, sorry guys. I know I ask this all the time. I have it written down in like 12 different places. What are your passive perceptions?
15.
13.
13.
Well, that's
Interesting.
very convenient. All right. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, you head down in that direction, Anders. You're like, I'll take the lead. I'm not scared of a little blood. And you head down in that direction, and it's you guys aren't hearing much of anything here. Off in this direction, you guys kind of got a whiff of a little less of the fungus and gross. You got a little more plant, a little more maybe even floral or something from down in this
Definitely
direction.
left.
But in this direction, you guys are getting like rust and earth and just something almost medicinal. Not quite sure. It's a little burny, a little chemically.
1218 will trust you because he does not have a nose.
Oh, and I'm sorry I didn't say for poor Bitsworth. The ceiling height in here, it's not huge. It looks like the shape of the areas that you guys are kind of encountering so far look to be very random. It's not like very clear paths. It looks like it was scraped out. And the ceilings in here are about, you're guessing about 15 feet high or so.
Is this looking like a man-made cave, or is it like a natural strange formation?
These caves aren't a natural formation.
Yeah, you're there are parts of it that lend to you thinking that it was natural. You get the impression that this is a bit more natural than this way. The scrapings that you guys kind of saw along the sides, they exist. Yeah, this stupid ruler. They exist like here and here, and then they kind of stop going this way, but continue to get thicker and more frequent in this direction. And they're awfully, I should mention, there are some that are lower on the wall, but there are some that are about 10 feet up.
Alright. 1218, you wanna head up front? You're the only light source we got.
So 30 feet bright, 30 feet dim.
I'm going to be immediately like hand on shoulder
Yeah.
with 1218. Ready to just kind of jump out in front as needed.
Okay, so you're just like crouching behind 1218, ready to jump in front. Sorry, the polygon reveal tool is just doing so well today. It's, oh God.
It kind of is. I don't mind it.
I mean, this up here is not a jagged edge that is black. Okay. So, the further on you guys go, you see more and more of those same grooves. They seem to be kind of, they started out around 10 feet tall and are kind of going down, descending along the wall. and getting deeper as they go along. The ground takes more gravel and it looks like crushed twigs or something. It's everything's very covered in dirt and like a gross kind of fungus, and of course blood. The more you guys go, it's 1218. You're getting a good look at it now that you're up real close. It doesn't look fresh, for sure.
But it's definitely blood.
It is definitely blood colored. It looks like it kind of seeped through and is kind of coloring all of the dirt in the area. There's a few pebbles, like I said, along the sides of the walls and things like that. They are all coated in the same.
He's going to investigate the stuff. See if he can figure out if it's actually blood or oil or something.
You're investigating the blood on the wall, or the blood on the ground?
Yeah.
Yeah, give me
That's be an investigation?
Yeah. Jesus. you stop and
if
you
is
crouch.
Blood how if is blood how old, etc.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Whether or not it even actually looks like this, you probably did one of those like scan overs that meow meow over the blood spot. I mean, it could
What
be
was
for
the
effect.
scan over like?
Meow meow meow. Yeah, very official sounding. At least that's the best sound bit that she has for it. But yeah, you crouch down and you're guessing that there is enough here. So quantity-wise, in your investigating, there is more here than your normal humans carry inside of them. Actually, more than a few humans, as you're kind of trying to calculate. There are varying degrees of color, which kind of, with a 20, you get all the stuff. With a, there are varying degrees of color, meaning, different dates. You're not quite sure exactly how far back, but some of it looks to be, weeks, months, years maybe old. And it's layers and layers of it.
This is unsettling.
Perhaps you grab some and you do some kind of soil sample in your investigation. You're getting all range of living creatures that you have in your database. Animal, human, Liam. I mean, not Liam in particular, but type.
Liam's blood sample has been found down in this cave.
So essentially, if it has blood, it's probably in here somehow.
Or was at one point. You're going with was, probably.
Was, yeah.
The gouges on the wall, do those look they were made with the machine or were dug out by, are they precise or are they...
They are not precise. Can you... I want to say investigation, but if you can sell me on something else, because you're... As 1218's bending down, you're probably, touching the wall, getting up close, trying to sniff at it.
I'm gonna try and say nature, but they're the same roll. So,
you know what? You could probably. You could do a nature. That's fine, if that's better for you than investigation.
Nah, they're both a +1. So,
cool. Hey, not bad.
Yeah.
You're no Julie, but these aren't man-made. These aren't surgical precision. They're of varying depths and I guess intensities or something. They are erratic. They are different on both sides. Not exactly the same degree for both. They break off in parts. They're different depths. No kind of similarity to them at all.
And they're just single lines, or are they
There are
sets of...
Yeah, there's some that are down lower, like actually towards the ground, maybe a foot or so off, 2 feet off the ground, that are much shallower and sporadic. Some are just like pockets in the lines, deeper like punctures almost. The ones that are taller up are much deeper, much kind of wider. And there's about up top, there's only one that you can clearly define and see. The ones down below are numerous, though. There's different 2, 3 lines. They break off in parts,
okay.
so it's kind of hard to tell.
And there aren't like footprints, like heavy, deep set footprints around. Large.
No footprints that you guys can discern. No.
Okay. And I don't think it's any nasty old creature. There'd be some footsteps. There'd be very set claw marks in the wall if it was something like a death claw. If you're done there, 1218, I say we press on.
All right. So, okay, stop there, please. So, 1218, you're kind of shining back and forth, going all over. The blood is getting much more, more in quantity, more in a deeper, more recent kind of levels of red, as opposed to that browny, rusty colored red. And you see, in front of you, you see a big mess.
Perhaps this was not the safest decision we've made.
You guys, Ethan, you actually you hear something off, kind of, as you guys were coming up, you heard something off in this direction here.
1218, you might want to dim the lights. Something's round that corner.
And he'll do so.
Yeah.
Though the lights technically fill up like this whole space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
like
they did not. It was probably noticed.
you flash on this like massacre scene of bones and kind of what's left of some flesh on them, I suppose. It's pulling away from the bones at best. There's piles, specifically in this kind of direction here. You guys see just blood, viscera, bones, multiple. You're noticing, if you're counting in that few seconds that it's bright, if you're counting skull wise, you notice at least 4 to 5. But there's just a big pile, and it looks like there are the footprints that you were looking for, Ethan. You see sort of footprints, but they're more in the shape of like claws, not necessarily toes. They it looks like they were thrashing about in this whole area to the side here, as far as the footprints go. It's a big mess over here. The markings along the wall continue until about here, and then they just kind of stop. To this side is more of the same kind of bones, but these look to be more broken. They're more jagged. They're smaller pieces. It also contains a bit of more fungus than you saw before. What looks to be just like maybe some ash, rocks, pebbles. There's a pile of wood here, maybe a broken crate or chair or something. It looks to be more dirt over in this direction. And as you guys are kind of doing that, Ethan, you hear the same sound that you heard before, but now it's coming from like right here.
From where?
Right here, as opposed to over here. And it just sounds like something causing dirt to move. You see some kind of dirt come off from the ceiling and the corner.
Shine up.
Shines.
Yeah, you shine it up, and you see just some rubble coming down. You don't see anything like popping its head out or beady eyes out or claws out. But you definitely know that there was something that caused the dirt to come off of there. You see like a little tiny like hole where maybe a rock was or something up at the top. And Ethan, you hear over here now the same kind of sound.
Can 1218 or can the rest of them pick up on the sounds now that they're
Yeah, you guys, it's getting
aware of
closer to you. Yeah, you can absolutely.
Because 1218 will swing his face around, like, immediately to try to...
Yeah, 1218, you don't catch anything. You see, like, what looks to be some more of that fungus or something on the side of the wall there. It looks to be a little bit brighter than the fungus that you guys saw at the very start.
Let's start backing up. Might just be more rats. Might be a rat scorpion. Or something that's worse.
Do we know of anything that could burrow through stone, like smallish?
I mean, you've heard of things that could probably burrow through stone, but this whole area, aside from some rocks, it's mostly dirt. It's well packed and gross, but it's mostly dirt. And as you guys are kind of talking about backing up, you all are now keenly listening for the sounds that Ethan was like, it's over there. Now it's over there. And you guys hear it over this way and kind of over here as well, simultaneously. And I'm going to need you guys to roll some initiative.
It's about damn time.
Cue the baseball-shaped things for Anders to hit.
Yes.
Alrighty. Some things are gonna happen. Oh, why'd you have to use little Frank's image? Bad, Kyle.
No!
It's not little Frank, but sad. Cute
No, Frank.
Yeah, Bitsworth zooms on over to you. You're like, where did you go? Get back here.
Do we have one more?
Bing?
There is an Acheron!
Oh, no, he's gone.
You scared him away.
Oh my god, there's so many.
No, it's fine. They're so tiny or something. Not really tiny.
And as some of that rumbling occurs, and it comes around, I'm going to end up rolling a lot of D12s, and that's going to be pretty directional based. As some critters, some cute, some not so cute, not cute at all, come swarming around. 12, 18. as I'm assuming Bitsworth is not on the ground.
No.
It's going to make this giant rat a lot. It's not really going to be able to bite at that one. So, 10?
No, sir.
10, not as much. One of the more... and as 1218, kind of as you flash your light towards this giant rat that has come at you, you notice from your sensors a bit of light from the other side. Ethan, you also notice this, but it looks a little bit more aggressive and angry as a much larger rat comes out through the wall, very intent on glowing and also biting at you.
Ooh, not fun.
Dibs.
All right. So Ethan, that's 9 hit point damage, and then maybe as a class resource or else, if you can just indicate that 8 radiation damage, that's not off of your hit points.
Okay.
And does a 25 also do?
Yeah.
As he comes through, roaring, Anders, you do start to hear your boy Tick start just a little bit. Starts ticking away. This one.
I'd play that sound, but they took it away from me.
It happens.
Oh, it's an Acheron.
Yeah, Bishop's here.
All right. Let
I
Bishop...
finally got fed up and went up to Walmart. Or not Walmart, McDonald's. McDonald's Wi-Fi.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm killing rat.
Do you have
That sounds
laptop,
about
or are
right.
you just are you just phone based?
I have my laptop with me.
Okay.
Nice. I will add...
Sin, I'll fill in for you.
Thanks. It's usually Peyton with his chip clip, but I'm cool with that.
Chip clip? What are you talking about?
My chip clip. Where is it?
What is a chip clip?
It's
Oh,
a
no.
clip for a bag of chips.
Oh, that I'm just using a clicky pen.
Where'd it go?
Yeah, maybe the batteries are dying like in a old cassette tape player or something. It's just sounding more like a pen clicking for some reason, Anders.
Bishop, I'm just going to drop you in.
That's perfectly fine. I will apologize in advance for any vehicle noises that you hear.
As long as it's not children screaming, that's fine. That's later in the dungeon.
Oh no.
Okay.
Sin, are you killing kids again?
Ha! It's not me this time. But
No, it's you.
Acheron, can other people hear what we're saying?
No, I'm sitting in my car.
Oh, I see.
Went in the play place.
I went through the drive-thru so they wouldn't harass me for being here for so long.
Okay.
So I got McDonald's fries.
Nice. Just fries?
And I got a 10-piece chicken nugget too.
What sauce?
None.
Heathen.
Real men don't eat sauce with their
Dang,
chicken
Kyle
nuggets.
does it too. It's disgusting. What's wrong with you?
No.
Lots of things. So Bishop, you
I'll
are
just
actually
message.
first on the initiative order. Given rumbling sounds all around you, what would your ready to action have been, if any?
Considering that this is close range, probably shotgun would have been the ready to action.
Okay. Go ahead and take that ready to action if you would like to at said glowing rat that came at Ethan. And then I will resume regular turn order.
This episode sponsored by Chicken
Going off.
McNuggets.
I don't think that's going to hit.
Yeah, I don't think there's a world where I can make that hit. It's an 8. So as the rat literally eats the buckshot that comes out of your shotgun, another one appears, also next to 1218. This one, however, never mind. That's a 6, so that's next to Anders. Anders, well, can you get a little nibble in there?
Sure. It's a little nibble between friends.
He is going to take a bonus action to disengage, and he is going to burrow 5 feet into that wall. That rat went. And Anders.
I'm going to step up to Big Papa and rat meat back. Wah.
He also starts gnawing on your nails, maybe in a small chance to play fetch? You're not quite sure.
It's the bear cubs all over again.
That green light is causing weird shadows. You couldn't see it properly or something.
As Bishop 1 pops up out of the wall next to you, he looks really cute. He looks just like Lil Frank.
Except he'll miss.
He is very disappointing. And he's going to remain where he is. And an 11 pops this one out over here. Anders.
Miss.
All right. This one was already revealed, so we'll have it come towards 1218 and give a little nibble. Uh, 18 gonna do it, Effie?
Sorry, I was muted. Yes.
That's okay. It's gonna nibble on some little open wiring there for 3 damage. Nice little 3. And Ethan, as you get your wits about you and prepare to deal with this oncoming horde of little pets, does a 15 do?
I'm going to take it.
Oh, thank you.
I'm going to take it so it misses me.
Okay, so Ethan, as you are, readying yourself, Anders at the last second pushes you out of the way of this little nibble, which brings us to you.
Alrighty. Ethan's gonna go ahead and... What was it? Oh yeah. Alright. He's going to draw his machete and take a swing at the nearest one. $17.
17's gonna do. Which one were we going for?
The one right above him.
Oh, okay. Little Frank's cousin. Yeah, go ahead and roll some damage. You hear a small offended squeak from your pack.
I'm sorry.
But you definitely don't hear any squeaks from the one in front of you. So as you slice through one, what else are we looking at here?
Look, I'm gonna... I guess... I don't know. Just gonna bonus action. If anything else tries to bite at him, he's gonna swing back.
All right.
Ready in action to do that.
Ethan looking out for Ethan. 12-18. You have your humans, but they're surrounded by rats.
He is going to take a hatchet and go for the giant rat. That seems like the bigger threat currently.
Yeah.
18?
So 17 for 10 will do it, and 18 for 5 will also do it. So it's not the last one, but how do you do this?
The
Oh,
second.
I'm reading is hard.
Because I only hit it for 5, so I'm sure it has more than that.
So yes, you do land a very very effective blow into this rat.
Will 11 do it again?
Oh, it seems like your first hatchet has gotten in the way of your second, and you're unable to get a clear cleave onto this rat with your second blow. As more rats begin to close in, Ethan, one fills in the spot that you just sliced down. He is going to make a bite at you. Do you have anything that you would like to do? Excellent.
Ready to swing. 25?
Yeah, that'll do it.
Or 12.
And as Ethan emulates whack-a-mole, a rat comes up and out, and then a rat goes away.
Oh my god, that is what we're playing.
Literally playing whack-a-mole rat. Yep. Verbiage. 12-18. Does a 12 nibble at all?
Nope.
And then... that one needs a roll. One is up there, which means it goes down. Yep. And 12-18. One last little nibble.
Ow.
As 12-18 is getting a little bit nibbled and a little bit surrounded. Bishop.
Yeah, Bishop is taking the second shotgun shot at the big glowy one.
All right.
He's now named Big Papa, I believe.
I believe 23 is going to hit. Let me roll another D8. Yes, D8, since it is within the short range.
All right.
That'll be 16 points of damage to the big guy.
Ooh, you put some good pellets into this big Papa guy here, right here. It kind of rattles back with the blow. As one last rat tries to join the fray, but is unable to.
Real quick.
Oh, yes, please, by all means.
Bonus action, I'm going to taunt the big rat.
Can you roll that out for me so I know what I'm saving?
Yes. It is a wisdom saving throw. The DC is 14.
But does it have an intelligence of 6 or more?
We're about to find out.
Yes, we are about to find out.
Come on, you big dumb rat.
And it looks like, as the rat looks at you, as you blow it with a shotgun, you taunt at it. You know, in your best rat, you're not big, I'm big. But it doesn't seem to really understand what you're trying to do. It does understand that there's a giant, scaly other thing in front of it, but it doesn't look like your taunt is effective.
It is what it is. But yeah, then that'll be my turn.
All right. And as Big Papa is getting ready to strike, there's more rumbling from under the ground. 1218, it's right next to you.
Not pleased.
Yeah, 1218, you feel the ground kind of start to rumble. The little mole rats, they dug up little holes. You didn't feel the ground shake like you do with this. And up next to you, kind of in the midst of all those little rats scurrying about, you see this giant guy show up.
Ah!
It's a mean
Yeah.
green.
He looks like a large lizard, bigger than the taunted one up here that Bishop has claimed as his own. He is low to the ground. Think like Komodo dragon, but bigger. Looks to have like some plated armor on, not like regular armor, but hard plates. His tail is long and thick, and it ends in like a bunch of scales in a ball at the end. And he's got bright, glowing yellow eyes, and he goes to bite. And kind of just... He looks like a whirlwind. The markings that you saw further in of it looking like... There's a giant motorcycle driving by. The stuff that you saw of it looking like a complete mess in there of bone and viscera and things like that torn about in undiscernible footprints. You now kind of get it watching this thing attack the mole rats and try and just frantically grab for anything it can claw into its maw. And 1218, can you give me a perception check while you're watching all this go down? Yeah, you're spot on. You're like, what the hell is that thing? And you're staring at it so intensely in its throes that you see what looks to be like, is that a collar? There's something around its neck.
Excuse you.
We gotta
Ethan,
save
you are not
it.
allowed to have another pet. You are not
We
allowed to have
gotta
another
save
pet.
it.
No, Ethan.
As you're trying to figure out, is that a collar? What is that? It grabs the following items and kind of pulls them as they're squeaking and whining into the giant hole that it has just created into the ground. And it dives back down.
Guys, I know this is wild, but what if that's Cuddle?
Cuddle?
Charles Hunting's dog. From that picture. It's in my notes. I knew there was a dog back then in a picture.
Oh, fuck.
I think that's a little bit bigger than the Pekingese that was pictured in that photo.
DMs, make it happen. It's your job now.
We're giving
I
you
didn't
so many
happen
pets.
to notice a name tag.
So would it be.
So,
It did have a collar. Did not notice a name tag.
And as this happens behind Anders, the bastion of green and glowing ahead of you shudders a little bit. Doesn't seem particularly thrilled, but we'll try to bite you twice here. 22 for 7.
One of those will hurt me.
And that's the button for multi-attack. And that one's gonna miss.
That one's gonna miss.
And as As it fails to follow through with its second bite, it seems a little bit more wary and doesn't seem to just be looking at you anymore. Some of the rats, however, are a little bit less observant. 12-18. If a 20 does for 6. This one's going to move into Bitsworth's space. And Ethan, you look nummy.
I'll scoop Bitsworth so you can see him.
Ooh.
Does a 18 do for 8?
That it does.
How you doing, pal?
Weird. I'm standing.
They're just nibbling. Anders, as Ethan's getting a little bit nibbled on, maybe looks a little bit weary.
12-18's got sparks going off in various places.
That'll bring us to you.
They love it when I bat at Big Papa. Fuck!
I would say Big Papa definitely loves it when you bat at Big Papa.
No! I want to hit. Is that a bonus action to... bonus action second win.
Okay.
Fuck.
Oh man. Hey, roll on the low half of the spectrum for the first half. Bishop, we're gonna get a little nibbling. Does a 21 do for a little nibbling? And then Ethan, one more pops back out of the wall.
Oh
it
boy.
really wants to nibble.
Really do.
Taking
and it does. Oh,
Nope.
thank you.
Taking it.
It seems to be the same rat, and it just has not learned its lesson. Ethan.
Ethan's gonna bonus action disengage. Is Big Papa really? He's that big, I assume.
Yes, he is very awkwardly shaped. He's a very long creature. He's technically categorized as large, but
His teeth are about 40% of that.
So moving through that square would take like double then.
He's sensitive about it. Don't mention it. It'll make him mad.
Moving through enemy squares isn't possible.
Shoot, you're right,
without.
Look.
There's no roofs for Ethan. Confusion.
What do I do?
Oh, you mean we didn't get the rock climbing DLC so we could just climb up the walls of here?
I might have to use one of the store gear stim packs so I don't just die. Anybody opposed?
Go for it.
You guys are tracking that
They're
stuff,
there to
right?
be used.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Alright. No, not 54. Just mark that down to
Tracking
4.
that
And how
stuff?
much is the stim pack?
Oh, the stim packs.
2d4 plus 2. It's basic healing potion.
Okay. Gonna use that. 9 back.
That's a
Move
solid
another
stim.
round. And oh, sorry. I'm just trying to think what my action economy right there was. Sorry. What does it take to use that stim?
It's an action.
Got it. All right.
All right, are we bonusing? I know that you wanted to disengage, obviously, then you decided to stem, like if you're...
Right. Because I already used that disengage. It'd be sheep to try and take it back. So.
Okay.
I live with my decisions.
I mean, you can move through 1218 space, I believe.
Well, that's true. I could dip down there.
Yeah, there's just a little dip in the ground there where there was previously like 4 things. There's some blood, a foot.
Ethan is known for his jumping abilities.
Absolutely.
So is there a hole here now?
It's just a depression in the ground. It's not like a giant hole that you could jump down. It, like, the ground kind of filled in after it, and you saw its little tail slither away.
Yeah, moving anywhere will be good right now. So he'll 5 and 15, 20. 4 to 5. Yeah. I'm gonna go like there.
Yeah, because...
kind of jump just over the pit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you like kick aside, what looks to be a little paw that was ripped off, and you being the furthest in than anybody else, the smell in here is just overwhelming. It's just decaying flesh death. It's really yummy.
Wonderful.
And this area, without 1218 kind of peering around the corner for you and in the lead, this corner, whoops, don't have that. This corner down here is now pretty dark. You're pretty sure you saw the wall ending there, though, but it's all in kind of darkness now.
Okay.
And speaking of 1218, Ethan, the human seems to looks like he's taking care of himself, but you never know with them.
That's a first. Going to keep hatcheting at the thing.
Yeah, a 16 is solid, and this time you do them both at the same time, as opposed to doing one and then the other. They don't get in the way of each other, and you're able to remove that issue. That is an action. That is a bonus. Any movement? And is Bitsworth doing anything in particular?
Bitsworth is not currently, and he's going to stay where he is.
Yeah. All right. Fritzing out a little, but staying in the ground, making sure the humans can get out, but these rats have got your wires.
Yep, my wires. They have them a lot.
And as this one gets a successful bite in, you see it after seeing the mess that was left to the right. It kind of just burrows into the wall. And it seems to disappear from your sight with the dirt filling in behind it. Bishop.
Bonus action, reload.
Okay.
Actual action. Sawing off at the big guy. And again, I should make a macro for this. 13 points of damage.
Woohoo!
Boom. And that was at our big papa here, correct?
Yeah, the glowing rat.
Yeah, he is also, again, it seems like your actions are louder than words with this one. And it continues to make do. That's a bonus. That's a regular action. Anything else for you on this round?
No desire to move.
Okay. And as we start to do an in-between turn here...
Yeah, so, as at the top of the turn, as things are looking pretty bad for Big Papa up there, and you guys have thinned out the herd a little bit, Ethan, you feel that loose earth, underneath you kind of shake, and you, you feel everything around you kind of shake. The earth feels very unsteady, and you hear, like, a scraping sound, like chalk, like bone on rock somewhere. Doesn't sound good. And then it stops. And then you hear a terrible screech from a big-toothed monster further away.
He is big-toothed. He does like to bite. Anders is in the way. And he still looks like food, you know, sorta.
I will remain in the way.
Alright, so 11, and then... I don't think a 15 does it.
Nah, dog.
Well, he is a rat, so he doesn't understand your hip lingo. But maybe his compatriot behind, who wants to bite at Bishop, does. Jesus Christ.
Is that the fourth nat 20 they've gotten between the enemy?
Ow.
Yeah, it's... looks like it's a rat day.
Well, I mean, you did taunt him, Bishop, so he was like, alright. Toofed.
I mean, it is the day of rats after all.
Just keep him coming. Roll the boulder out of the way. It's fine.
Yep. All the Easter Bunny is a giant rodent.
Damn.
Yes. Yes, indeed, that one does not seem to have hidden any eggs for you to find, though. Anders.
We all know what I'm going to do here.
Hit, 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 hit.
Hit!
Hit!
Well, it's a hit.
Only for the 7.
Only for the 7.
But it's a hit!
It is a definitive hit. It is a solid ground ball.
End of turn.
I'm sorry, did you say that was the end of the turn?
End of turn.
Ah, it was
You know-
that sound.
That's a good point, Casey. I'd say yeah. I mean, why not? Continue, sorry.
Bishop.
But what do you say?
Oh.
Bishop,
Ow.
another one comes and wants to be economical.
Absolutely the fuck not, Casey. I'm going to take that damage.
Thank you.
Well,
As
he did buy you a full fusion core, I'm sure, you know, to make things interesting for himself.
Anders, as you push Bishop out of the way, seeing that it got a little nibble, this one also slinks back
God damn it.
into the wall. The third mole rat, little moly up here. I don't know how to describe a double natural one.
Can
From
we
a little
use
itty bitty
Zach's
rat.
rule from the other night?
Zach's rule for nat ones is very fun.
Just kidding. I don't want to bring that evil into this world.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure that'll go really well for you. So Ethan, as this rat literally flops on its face, what does that bring you to?
I am going to take out my quiet weapon, my compound bow. I'm going to shoot at this giant rat here.
With a bow.
Yeah.
It's like you're hunting.
13?
That barely does it.
Hey!
You're scraping the bottom of your clean shots here.
For 14 damage.
Wow.
So you might be scraping the bottom of it, but you put an arrow through this rat and it sticks to the wall, and then stops.
Fantastic. Alright, and then I'm going to bonus action hide from the thing that's burrowing, just like the flavoring that is. I'm going to be very soft with my footsteps. Like over here.
I was gonna say, are you just crouching in the, like, divot?
I heard it rumbling beneath me, and I'm not about to stay there. So you want a stealth roll from me?
Yeah, sure.
Alright. Move less than half my movement. So that's a 23.
23 is all good. You are standing... I don't have an analogy for this. Do you have one? How still Ethan's standing? Letting it go.
I'm standing so incredibly still.
Which will bring us over to 1218. Do it to it.
He is going to throw his hatchet at the big dude over here. Throw.
It's a new form of projectile warfare from 1218.
14?
As unfortunately this one bounces off the side of his teeth.
10's not going to do it, so he's going to pull out his revolver, get ready for the next one. But, that's it.
And 1218, as you shuck some pieces of metal with handles, we're going to give a quick, just a real quick one of those. And Ethan, you hear a slight scurrying behind you. Bishop.
Going to keep on doing it to it. Which will be a miss.
As it seems, Anders has maybe jostled you out of your accuracy, but, you know, saved your life in the interim.
Yeah, it happens.
Give a little, get a little.
Bonus action inspiration to Anders. You get a d6 to any ability check, attack roll, yada yada.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Everything except damage.
Noted.
Really? Rats? Really? Hardy har har. All right. So, as you inspire Anders, you guys see Big Papa kind of start looking like he's gonna dig his way out. The numbers are not working in his favor. But some of the loose dirt he kicks up releases some kind of canister of some kind. And as he goes to dig into it with his twofers, you hear a pop and a hiss. And he seems invigorated and much more into it than he was before. He is not going anywhere now. Numbers be damned.
Casey,
Casey
I hope bad things
the
happen
rat,
to you.
didn't he?
He's just upset that you didn't buy it for him. Don't listen.
Of course I am.
1218 still has yours. Anyway, and Ethan, you tiptoed over to that corner and you feel more secure, but the rumbles are still happening. You're just feeling it more in this direction. And now that you're over there, you can kind of see part of the wall there. You don't see anything that looks terrible, but the wall shaking and, loosening rock and rubble and dirt isn't exactly comforting.
No, it's not.
No, it's super not. Yeah, and Big Papa looks way in this fight, and who is that for, Casey? I believe he bought a dick doll for you guys. I'm guessing for Ben.
I don't know what we're gonna do with that, guys. I appreciate it, but it's a waste of silver, Casey. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's nobody to use that on
Nobody
our team.
addicted to anything in this team.
Oh, somebody bought you Peeps for Easter. I don't know what to do with that, but thanks. Oh, that's great. Okay.
I'm sorry, do you not like Peeps?
Yeah, do you like
Yeah,
Peeps?
microwave Peeps.
Peeps are
Marshmallows and
wonderfully,
sugar.
awfully fantastic.
Yeah, seriously, stick a peep in a microwave. Laughs will ensue.
Duncan's got Peeps donuts. You put a peep on a donut.
What?
Wild
Oy.
motherfuckers.
Anywho.
Well, it seems
Gross.
like Big Papa doesn't like Peeps. It seems like he likes fleshy flesh.
He likes a different kind of peeps.
Yes, I suppose technically, yes, he does like Peeps. Anders.
Specifically green flesh? Green flavor flesh?
A green flavored peep.
And then Anders.
That'll hit.
And then Anders.
That'll miss, and I'm still alive.
Whew. And look at all that radiation damage that you haven't taken. All you, Anders. As you hear a pfft, and then maybe a smell of, like a little smell of something that you kind of remember a little bit.
Oh, he super roared in your face. You smelled all of that. You know what that is.
That was supposed to be mine.
Hell yeah!
Trying to get some secondhand smoke, Anders.
Yep.
Fucking max damage. So we like to see-
Maxwell damage.
That's a terrible name, but we'll totally use it anyway. Yes, as you hit this guy like you wanted to hit that inhaler, he does make a nice sound, but he's still upright. Chirp, 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 chirp. Bishop, one seems to have heard the act of aerosoling and tries to get in with a nice 17 for 9 nibble. Or 17 for 4 nibble.
I was about to say. But anyhow, yes, that'll touch me.
Just nibbling a little. The rat up next to Anders. 18 for 5.
I'm still up.
He said. This one, seeing Big Papa invigorated, is also gonna keep at it. Ethan.
Ethan's gonna be listening a little bit, make sure that the thing that's burrowing isn't right under him. But then lean out and fire another arrow, this time at Big Papa.
At advantage because hidden.
Oh yeah. Pew. For 15.
So with a 15, you swear like you watched its movement patterns, out of the corner of your eye for a couple seconds. But now that it's hit this pocket of air, it's sporadic and it's all over the place. You can't read where it's going to be at all. And the arrow goes slightly wide.
Aha, but thanks to the skulker feat, I'm still hidden. So
Hidden
I
from
will.
some stuff.
hidden from anything that didn't beat the previous 23. But then he is going to bonus action, or he's going to knock another arrow and bonus action to shoot at Big Papa if Big Papa tries to take another bite at Anders.
All right, so bow 1 misses. Bow 2, maybe if, you can predict where he's going when he's trying to get a bite in. Maybe it'll go better. 12-18.
12-18, I need a little something extra here.
Ignoring him. entirely. You distracted him, thanks. And he'll pull out his other rifle. And scoop back a little bit. Too far. That's it.
All right, and then it brings us over to Bishop.
Yeah. We're gonna... Yeah. One more shot at Big Papa. First bonus action reload.
Okay.
12's going to miss.
Oh, man. All right. So with a little bit of rumbling, but not much ado, Big Papa is going to try to bite at Anders. Cough, cough. Peyton.
Yeah.
Ready
Big
to
Papa
action?
is trying to bite at Anders.
I know. I was opening my character sheet. I closed it so that I can watch the map. 25.
Yeah, so you're able to better read his movements.
Min. Is it enough?
So focusing much more on hitting and a little bit less on the drawstring of your bow. You're still able to reduce Big Papa down to a not so biting at Anders status.
Ooh.
And as Big Papa dies, right in front of you, Anders. But still keeps glowing. What do you do?
There's still a smaller rat next to me, yes?
Yes, that one is still there. That one is no longer there.
Splat.
I'm gonna bounce into here.
Well, you know what? More power to Anders if he's still able to bounce around after that biting. This mole rat, seeing its choices between trying to nibble down a guy or the giant guy that was next to Big Papa and didn't die, is going to disengage and burrow into the wall. Ethan.
He's gonna peek around the corner and seeing that there's no rats left, he's gonna move a little closer. Yeah, he'll move up towards his friends, but still be like very soft-footed. Knowing that there's something beneath them.
All right, 12-18? Yeah, there's nothing else on this level right now.
He's keeping an eye out. But if there's nothing immediately, he's gonna start heading this way to like at least grab one of his hatchets, keeping his eye on the area where the one went, like scooting along the wall, and like turning his head left and right to make sure like stuff's lit up.
All right, so you were going to retrieve your hatchet, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So as Ethan kind of creeps by you, and you're like, I'm gonna go get the hatchet, and Ethan's like, kind of looking over his shoulder, like, there's something there. There's something under there. Something is indeed under there, but you see it kind of pop up towards the back here, kind of underneath, pop up a little bit through the garbage, and you see just the head so far kind of pop up and look around and look at you guys and do that thing like, you know, when you're like, who's a good dog, and the dog turns its head like, is it me, or what are you trying to say? And kind of look at you guys strange, look side to side, see no more little white nugs, and kind of, you know, do a dive back down. And all of you that kind of are in this general area, so like Bitsworth got a good picture of it, and Ethan, you could see it pretty clearly. There is definitely some kind of collar-shaped thing, or, you know, something round along its neck area. And at that point, I think we can drop out of initiative.
Wonderful.
Go ahead with what you guys want to do, and then we're gonna probably take a quick bathroom break.
Yep.
I have a question I was thinking about during battle. The reboots for 1218.
Yes.
Could he handle it? Like, could Bitsworth carry one? Because he has his like pincer thing.
He has
like,
little pincer things on the outside. Is he currently carrying anything in them?
No. I was wondering if he could carry one and swoop in and zap him if need be. If that's like, because he has a hand essentially.
Yes, but I would say that like he can't really like if he's gonna hold one in one of his pinchers, he can't really like attack with, you know what I mean? Like he can't really do some of the other stuff that he would do. He can absolutely carry one.
Well, like it's not really worth like he could slam, like that's what his attack would be, but
yeah,
it's like it's not really worth anything. But like he would like obviously he'd have to drop it to do the exoskeleton thing. But I was just thinking like if he could like hold on to one in need be, and then zoom in and just like jab him with it.
Yes, that sounds amazing. Yes, he can absolutely zoom in to jab you with things that are helpful. Load him on up.
Speaking of helpful, Bishop is going to be using one of the store gear stim packs.
Woo!
All right. Make sure we're taking those away. I don't know how many you guys even have, honestly.
We have 3 more left.
Oh boy.
Ooh, I'm gonna add the fusion cores to that little list.
2 more left.
We all took a fucking beating there.
Nah. It's fine.
I was at exactly 1 HP at my lowest. That was scary.
Yeah, so you guys
Are we going to maybe attempt a rest, or are we forging on? Or
do a quick combat rest, or but that takes like an hour still, right?
Yeah, and you guys have only been in here for like maybe a half an hour at most, depending on how slowly you creeped along. So I would say you're welcome to try.
Well, I mean, we came down a hallway. We can go back out.
True, but
yeah, and you guys are maybe Ethan and 1218 more than others. You guys are painfully aware of what the Earth felt like when, you know, that little green thing was popping up. It wasn't good. Like, it didn't make you feel stable or safe, for sure. Things
I
rumbled.
need to go sit down. Stop.
Oh, you're stomping? Okay. Noted.
I mean, I'm just walking normally. I'm not. Which right now for Anders is like kind of a powerful walk. It's a power walk.
It's a jealousy walk. Stupid
No,
rat.
not a jealousy walk. That's just like Anders' natural state is just like slightly heightened now.
No, Jill.
All right. So we'll describe kind of, what it looks like around there as we get back from our quickie 5-minute break, get some more caffeine, get the bathroom break, and we'll be back here for some more fun.
Yeah.
All right, all right.
All right. Hello.
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 Yay, there's people.
Bonjour.
Welcome, comrade.
Oh, hi, Mark.
I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Ma.
Yeah, I think that was everybody. Nifty.
1218, as you're working out the mechanics of putting a reboot into the one claw arm, you're starting to realize that you future-proofed the way Bitsworth would work when you modified him to be able to adapt to the humans to take care of them better.
Mm-hmm.
While he can attach onto the humans and function like an exoskeleton as your printed perk works, if he does so and is combined with a fusion core, he provides the benefits of a power armor frame.
Neat.
Excuse you?
What can Bitsworth do? Been holding out on us.
And why aren't we doing this right, Meow?
To be honest, if I knew this was going to be a thing before we even started, I probably would have gone the same route as 1218 for being a gun runner.
It's taken 1218 a decent amount of time looking at old world schematics. I mean, she's been around forever. And I don't even think it was an intentional design, much less as a, well, this is how everybody else did it. Oh, why is there a hole there? We'll see what happens.
I don't know if 1218 would have made that commonplace knowledge for everybody.
Probably
No,
not.
because, well, when it was done, they didn't have any fusion bits. They didn't,
It was irrelevant information at the time.
Yes.
Yeah. And as you guys pass the fusion cores, you're like, that's a strange shape. Where have I seen that shape before? But the way that you guys acted in the woods when 1218 was taking a software update, I don't know if that exactly made 1218 want to tell you things about Bitsworth. Yeah.
Speaking of in the woods,
For emergencies only situation.
1218 get
Bishop's
out
going
the
to
label maker and put that on the spot.
Unless we find some plates, that's going to actually lower my AC.
But yeah, speaking of the
So
time
let's
in the
get me
woods,
some fucking plates.
Bishops is going to look at Anders and be like, so, you want to cut this guy open?
Sure.
Wait, sorry, you're cutting Big Papa open? There's other corpses
Yeah.
if you guys really want to dig into that, too.
Fuck it, cut them all open.
As Ethan squeals, you head towards Big Papa with a knife.
We found loot in the bears.
Yeah, they you get over there and you're trying to figure out how to grasp it with avoiding the twofers, and you're just like every angle you try and attack it from, it's just like right in your face. And its breath is not that good, even though it doesn't have it anymore. You're smelling something from down in its gut.
And jet.
And that sweet, sweet candy. Yeah, little remnants of that. You see the discarded, punctured canister kind of nearby.
I just pick it up and just subtly just... Oh.
Pointed face.
Yeah.
And then I stab Big Papa and rip him open. as best I can.
Yeah, you do that, and you see its anatomy is a little bit different. It's in between the size. It's just bigger than those cubs. Like probably two of those cubs put together. But it smells a whole hell of a lot worse. Just like you, it had some flesh kind of peeling off its back legs there, and its whole body has this like strange glow about it still. And as you dig into it, it's oh God, it just gets somehow brighter. It's almost pulsing this color. And you got your hands in there. You're digging around. You're like, there's got to be something good in this one. There was stuff in the other one, but unfortunately, you come up mostly empty-handed. I mean, you've got handfuls of what look to be some entrails of, maybe some of those smaller rats that you saw. Some bones, tiny bones. I don't really see a whole lot of it. You have discovered one cap. You found one cap. But that's about all you find.
Hey guys, I found a bottle cap.
Was it really worth it?
I mean, no, but
We didn't have.
I'm bored.
That's a way to look at it. Now, I'm gonna try something very risky. And Ethan's gonna, like, kind of with a bit of disgust, pick up one of the mole rat bodies and just, like, fling it towards where he last saw the lizard.
Yeah, okay. You're like, yeah, but was it worth it, Anders? Gross. And then you pick up a dead body and fling it over your shoulder towards the rest of the dead lumps and bones. And it just kind of flops and then just hangs out there for a while. And you hear, some rumbling almost simultaneously, this direction and this direction, like a couple seconds after you flop it. But you don't see anything popping up. The noise just...
I have an idea.
Let's hear it.
It might be a terrible idea.
Oh, those are the best ones.
A terrible and awesome idea.
Oh, yeah. What is it?
I pick up one of the smaller rats and just start hitting it against the floor.
Okay. How are you like just flapping it, like trying to destroy it? Are you doing it in a
Swinging
rhythm?
it.
No, I'm just like plip, 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 plip.
Okay. Yeah, so are you doing it there, or did you move up towards Ethan and you're like, I got this, man, let's do this together?
Yeah.
All right, so you're like, ooh, me too. And you are... Shut up, Casey. You come up there and you start bapping it against the ground, and you're like, bap, 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 bap. And you're like, oh, it's not doing anything. But after a couple seconds, over in this corner here, you hear like a rustling, but it's following the pattern that you were, hitting that on the ground in. The rhythmic sound. But you, just like Ethan, don't see anything pop out.
How heavy is Big Papa?
Now that you've gutted him, probably not as heavy as he was.
Yeah, I was going to say the front half or the back half. Because I don't know if that gutting went...
He
The half
butterflied.
with the tail
I think.
attached. And I'm just gonna start dragging it. If I can, I'm just gonna take Big Papa by the tail or the back leg and just start dragging him around the cavern.
Yeah, you, as you start dragging him around the cavern, you are stepping through, like, almost knee-deep piles of bone and viscera and blood and squishy earth and just gross stuff, and you're kind of, some of the entrails are catching on different bones and kind of stopping you up, and, you're just yanking it, forcefully along this horrible circle. And 1218, you have the brief thought of, well, okay, now I kind of get why this place is covered in blood the way it is. And Anders, as you're dragging it, specifically over in this direction, you hear a skittering in the walls that kind of, the sound starts kind of near that, the marking about 10 feet up the wall, and it kind of goes overhead, and then you hear it over here, light skittering, and you feel a rumble kind of over this way, and you hear this strange sound. Anders, can you roll me and Ethan if you're, like, kind of helping participate in this?
Please do.
Give me a survival check for the noise that you guys are kind of hearing.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely all in with this.
Are you going to assist so I can have a flat roll?
Has 10 minutes passed?
Yeah.
I'd say 10 minutes has passed.
Okay,
So
so you
it's a
do
flat
not have
roll.
your inspiration.
Okay.
20 total.
Yeah. So you're doing this, you hear skittering, you hear responses over in this direction and this direction. You guys feel a little rumble in the earth, nothing quite as bad. But Anders, you hear something. The only way you can describe where the direction is coming from is this way, somewhere here. And it is not a rumbling, not a chittering, no animal sound, but you hear a clunk and you feel the earth kind of vibrate once, real quick for that.
Run. I run that way. I'm there now.
Are you still dragging the half?
Oh yeah, I did. Run, I'm there now. In 6 seconds I'm there.
Yeah. So creating a new trough that now is on the ground as opposed to the walls from Big Papa's twofers. You drag Big Papa with you, and you're running there, and then you stop and you listen again. You don't hear the chittering. You don't hear anything. Although it smells a little better over here. And he starts to get the impression that, over your head, the top of Big Papa's, like, roof of his mouth would kind of fit over perfectly well if you wanted to just kind of, wear the, just, size-wise.
I'll boil the skull later. Come on, I think I heard something around the corner.
But the lizards.
Okay, all right. So we're moving. Anders at least is moving in this direction. Anders, you round the corner, and almost instantly, it smells way better over here. Where you are right now, let me reveal.
I'm bringing it with me.
It's your light source.
Essentially.
So gross. So fucking smart gross.
Oh, I round the corner and then I realize I'm in darkness. I'm like, shit. 12:18.
Yeah.
Yeah, you round the corner and you've got some creepy green light. And it seems to work for you, but maybe not for everybody else. And 1218 is whirring around the corner to catch up with you. And you guys see that big boulder there, now covered in a creepy green glow. You see spider webs behind it. And some strange plants. Bishop, as you kind of round the corner, you see some of the leaves. They look very similar to the bushes that you plucked the berries from a while ago, and they have what looks to be a similar kind of fruit hanging off of them. But they
similar or the same?
They look to be the same, but you don't remember them being quite this green. Or covered in spider webs. So, but that plant is growing kind of up the wall. It looks to what space it doesn't have on the ground, it seems to have made up for on the wall. As Anders flings Big Papa back in the other direction.
I'm sorry, it was in the way of the description. I wanted to move that guy out of there.
He's helping with the description. As far as trying to sniff out that sound, Anders, you round the corner and you're like, hold on. And you stop and listen. And you don't hear anything. You hear, or rather you feel like a breeze from the front area over this way come in, and it's very welcomed right now in terms of clearing out smell. But all you see is a darkness ahead of you.
A dark darkness as opposed to regular darkness?
A dark darkness.
Advanced
This
darkness.
is advanced darkness.
Would they happen to hear footsteps coming up behind them?
Oh, do they?
Oh, hey!
Sorry I'm late, everyone. Y'all left me in a tree.
You're the one who decided to sleep in a fucking tree.
I figured you needed some space from us after the show.
I didn't expect you to be back.
So, GM, do they hear tiny, quiet footsteps coming up from behind?
I don't know. Do we hear that?
If you're asking if you can insert yourself, absolutely. Like, you can wake up, see the boulder was moved, and sneak in. Yeah, and you can kind of creep up behind them. Are you letting them know? Or did you introduce yourself to them?
Lean around the corner.
Flashlight.
Shotgun already pointed at the cannibal.
Yeah. Bishop bringing up the rear. Yeah, you were probably like, watch us behind here, good thing I did.
Ethan! Robot lady, you in here?
Yeah! He'll wave from around the corner. Not just the two druggies.
Good. And I will approach wearing my night vision goggles.
That's gonna be a bitch if someone flashes a flashlight at you.
Currently, 1218's entire face is lit up. It is lighting up like a 30-foot cone. So if he turns to look at you,
Yeah.
maybe blinded for a moment.
Damn it! Okay, that's a thing.
So nice of you to join us. Were you hoping to get the meal?
I decided to sleep in, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, Julie heading in, you, I mean, there's at least a little bit of blood. Big Papa is glowing a little bit less now that he has been drug around, back and forth. Still very intense from the innard out, but he lost a bit of his little neon glow. But Julie, you see some of the viscera and blood that had attracted the group right over this way, a little more so in a direct line around this way towards when you see Anders holding a half, mostly full, kind of open, butterflied corpse of a large rat with big twofers. And you find your friends again, carrying around dead things.
Do I always find y'all carrying dead bodies?
Force of habit.
What? Why is that a habit you've made?
I love that you guys trade the crazy stick. You're like, no, I'm gonna fucking go with it this time. You try to explain it.
So, what's in here?
A very large lizard with a collar.
Not dead
Lizard
humans, I can tell you that much.
with a collar.
Fortunately, the lizard decided didn't want to show up again.
Anders was trying to get its attention.
Have I heard of anything like that?
The way that they're describing it, and we'll assume that you guys can transfer all of the info that you got, what happened in the fight, and everybody's like, no, it was this big, and spreading out his arms and going, no, and then he went chomp, and then the ground went, you haven't heard of anything that large, that armored, as they're describing it, let alone with a collar. None of you have really heard of anything like that, especially with a collar. Or whatever that was. Maybe it was jewelry. Getting fancy. Yeah, Julie, as far as you're concerned, this is more, if it wasn't coming from, everybody and not just Bishop, you would maybe be convinced that they were telling tall tales.
Yeah, I can assume the robot isn't high out of her mind, at least.
The robot has been an even-keeled, responsible robot.
Except for the time when it had a software update.
Even then, it managed to hold on to Liam, so...
Somehow.
Who, Julie, you passed, slumped next to a tree on your way in. Or next to a big boulder.
Right. Can I see down this here corridor?
Were you one of the only people that can see down the corridor?
I have night vision goggles on.
Well, 1218's face as well.
Yeah, as 1218, as you kind of pan your head back, you're like, okay, I don't have to look at Julie anymore. You guys can see a little bit further down. Julie, how far can you see with your night vision goggles?
I believe they're 60 feet. I'd have to check, but I think the ruling for them is 60-foot dark vision.
So bright to here, not so bright to...
And Ethan can see in dim light just fine.
I have to find
Because
out.
he's a skulker.
Alright, we will open it up. Julie, you can see with your night vision goggles, you can see 60 feet. 1218, you can see in high def color, your 30 to 35 or whatever that was feet. Julie, with your night vision goggles, you see further, but it's a little like distorted in terms of coloring. Along the way down here, you guys see more of the same kind of fungus stuff, but it's dirt packed, just like the other alleyway was. You still, Ethan, you kind of were the one to take note of the deep markings along the walls. You still see those, but they're slightly different. You see the ones that are marked about 10 feet up the wall, and you see those very clearly, but much less of the markings on towards the ground. You see, where in the other hallway you had seen 4 or 5, maybe, separate trails. Here you see maybe one intermittently. And then you guys hear this horrible, mysterious sound down the way. You're like, clearly that's
Oh god,
plants.
it's a scat monster! Kill it!
It's a bat squatch!
Ah! How did his
Bat
wings
squatch.
even fit in here? But yeah, Julie, you see, you start to see right around here. You see
Oh,
plants.
I'm sorry. I don't actually have night vision goggles. I have infrared goggles, so I can't see shit.
Okay, well, let's just assume that you guys walked down this way because it was clear anyway. So, yeah.
I have a flashlight, so it's
Yes,
fine.
1218 lights up to here anyway.
Mhm.
About there.
Because waving a flashlight has gone so well in my past.
The
24
dim light.
hours.
Got it. Gotcha. Sorry, your dim light, 1218. You can see the outline of this. It's just maybe not as in great detail, but you see the telltale signs of more of that gross fungus. And you're kind of standing by it. Some of those plants up there, Julie and Ethan and Bishop, they're weird. You saw a lot of plants out in the jungle out there. These are different. I mean, there's some of those. You see the similar berry bush that you had found before, Bishop, but there's some other, like, they're fern-looking plants and tall grasses, plants with some thorns on them.
I'm going to go ahead and pick all the berries off of this bush.
Yeah, you got it. You collect a handful of the berries. They look to be this now that you're up close. And feel free, can you guys control Big Papa's corpse? No. Hold on.
How many berries?
Those sentences. Let's give you about 20. 20 of them berries. They look to be the same color. You were able to 1218. Just shine it over here for a second. They're the same color. They look very similar. They're
I'm
a
going to
little
squish one.
Yes, this one.
Oh no! Now there's two corpses.
From out of the ground comes
Another flayed corpse.
Why was it moving?
This one's much sadder as it just flops out of the wall, dead in front of you.
Now you can? Maybe?
Yes.
Please don't call it the party. That's weird.
Well, I don't sign it a
Don't
token
tell me
thing.
you don't tell me you replaced our token. Papa's card.
Yep.
No.
In the big
I'm
map,
just gonna
that's how you
have
guys
it
move now.
moving with me.
Anyhow,
Yes, you
I'm going to
squish.
squish one of those and just lick the juice. Does it taste the same? That's sweet.
It is very sweet. Yes.
Phrasing.
Okay.
It does taste the same. This one kind of, if you had to describe a difference, it was maybe a little past its prime to you, but it's still very sweet.
That's okay.
And are the bears at Ethan's bush pretty similar?
You were standing. So he pulled Bishop. You were pulling from this bush.
Okay.
Ethan, you were up by the fern plants and the flowers up there. And you guys see more of the same around the corner as you guys are kind of looking at the plants. You see more of those very spiky, and they almost have, like, you ever see those plants with the leaves where they look like they have hair follicles on them or something, and they're kind of prickly to the touch. That's what some of the ferns around here have. And you see a couple flowers. They're big, big petals. They kind of droop over, almost look like they can't even. Apparently Kyle found way more funny. Why is that? It's not even... Okay.
I was waiting for an end of the sentence.
No,
Just a 16-year-old white girl at Starbucks.
Well, that's what this flower is. It's just like, oh, for fuck's sake. And it's just kind of droops before it even has a chance to stand up.
Accent. Before we round this corner, besides the marching of my own party and the squishing of a dead body, can I hear anything moving around?
You guys can hear some more skittering in the walls. I'd say closer to the top, like the ceilings are maintaining the same kind of height, about 15 feet. And you guys kind of hear a little skittering to each side of you, kind of near where that 10-foot mark is up on the walls. But it's nothing major. You don't feel any earth shaking like you did before. As far as hearing things, you hear, now that you're a little further in, you hear what sounds to be some kind of dripping of some kind. You're guessing like some water from somewhere is splashing against something hard, rock, wood, dirt of some kind.
All those would make 3 completely different sounds.
I'm going to reveal a little bit more.
Have y'all... Haven't come anything man-made in here, have you?
No, but I heard a clank.
Lizard did have a collar.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess that does kind of count.
I'm gonna keep an eye out for anything of a human origin.
Oh yeah, I'm still all fucked up, aren't I? Hold on.
What's Yeah. So as you're kind of describing the fact that you haven't seen much human wise, except for the clank and the collar, as you guys are calling it, you guys are kind of trying to listen out, see if you hear anything. Ethan, you are like, "What's this over here?" And tromp, tromp, tromp through this gross patch of like decomposing earth. It dips down as it gets closer to the wall, and you kind of feel your feet kind of sink in a bit. Probably like almost near up to your ankles, depending on how long you're standing in there. But there's fungus and mushrooms, giant one, almost as big as your head. It's red with this like gross little pockets of I don't know. It's shiny, whatever that is. Those pockets of things on top of it. Lots of strange other plant life growing around it as well.
Does it seem at all safe/edible?
It safe? I mean, how safe do you feel when the ground starts to give out from under you and it smells like rotting earth? I mean, yes, it's totally safe. This one doesn't like prick you. It doesn't have like, little bristles. This plant doesn't hurt.
It also doesn't have vines that wrap up anything and eat it.
That is true. Yeah, you guys haven't seen...
It is safer than other plants that we've encountered.
That is very true. While you're squelching around in there, give me a nature roll while you're squelching around and going, I bet I could lick this and be fine. Well, first of all, you were fully convinced that you could lick that and be fine. It would probably taste like snozberries. But you also kind of take another step, like you go to pull your leg out with some force, and it goes, and then you stomp it back down in another spot, and a piece of, it looks like a hand or a claw starts to kind of stick out of the slushy, fungusy mud.
Ethan? I'll go over and grab his hand and start to pull him out.
I will try and start to move out.
Yeah, it takes some effort, but it's much more helpful now that Julie's like, come on, stop playing in the dirt.
With my strength of 0.
Between our combined strengths of 0, we are slightly stronger.
You really are starting to miss the roof.
I have an 11.
I can't climb in a cave. I don't know what to do with myself.
Do like I do. Army crawl.
I would not advise that here, but go for it.
Yanked.
You are yanked out. You are yanked out, and stepping away, you're like, God, why did I walk into that? As the mushroom kind of, sways slightly in the damp, gross soil and kind of rights itself. No longer pulled in your direction from your general weight in there.
Generally, mushrooms mean decay, and bug mushrooms mean something large has died, which means something killed something large.
It was probably the big old lizard.
I would avoid standing near those.
And I will take that to heart. We're back.
Alright, so looking elsewhere, you guys are kind of distracted by the pit of gross that Ethan was trampling around in. You see some more mushrooms over here. They're giant, but much more normal mushroom looking. They're large, but they're got the typical regular cap, no glistening spots. They're not bright red. You see some more of that fungus along the ground, though, and more of those kind of berry bushes that you were picking at before, Bishop. And then down this way, you guys see a what looks to be a big spider web kind of blocking out some plant life down this way.
I'll continue picking the berries.
All right, you raise your hand, next to Anders' ear, and you're like, "Those down there, them's mine." When we get there, and you guys, as you keep walking, you hear the dripping sound getting a little bit louder, but staying the same pace, same steady drip, drip. Right.
You know what?
And we're gonna finish revealing some stuffs.
And Deathclaw.
I don't think death claws make webs.
Deathclaw spider.
No,
That
that
would
would
be
go very
terrifying.
well with my drug hallucination.
A deathclaw spider, that would be fucking terrifying.
It's like a centaur. It's got a Deathclaw head, body, and arms, and then like spider
From the rest of the way down.
from the rest of the way down.
Does it have 8 eyes
gee.
and legs?
It's like a drow. It's like a dradder, but way worse.
Right, writing down future monsters to terrorize you guys with. We're gonna describe down here. You guys see
Deathclaw dradder. Oh, fuck.
So, leave it to Casey to want to make it its mount. Okay, so you guys see down here more of that same kind of pit of gross, soft, extra dark, squelchy looking soil. And you see now over here the source of that sound. From the ceiling above this area over here, you see a steady drip of water kind of pooling in this soil over here. You see more of those plants, a slightly different looking ferny one over here. And then to the other side, you guys see a lot of little pebbles and broken rock as opposed to just the dirt. Then you see a giant boulder that looks to be blocking what might be another way. I mean, it could just be a caved-in section of the dungeon. You're not quite sure because you can't see around this thing. It is taking up the entire top to bottom way.
I'm just searching the area.
Ah, you are searching the area. Yes.
Oh, sorry, I'm back. I just had something to deal with.
Can I get a perception check from you, Julie?
Sure. Nine.
Yeah, you're trying to survey the area, maybe wondering how you got in front again. And you don't see any obvious like traps or alarms of any kind. No enemies that you can see. It's kind of smelling a little gross. That pool of gross drippy shit up there doesn't smell so great. But you don't see anything that screams out danger to you.
So I have several pieces of Yagua meat. I'm gonna take one and I wanna chuck it over into this here web and then back up.
All right, you reach into your bag and you take out one of your big hunks of meat, and you throw it, almost kind of like you're throwing a firecracker, and you back up. You're like, wait, and it catches in this web, which is because you were standing pretty close to it. You can see it's not like a typical spider web where it's thinly made. This looks to be beefy. This is almost like a very thin rope thickness to it. And the meat clings to one of the sides before kind of catching on each rung, end over end, and then plopping on the ground.
It doesn't stick?
It sticks for a second, but then the weight of the meat itself kind of pulls itself off. If you ever see like a slinky going downstairs, it's just flop, flop, plop.
Okay. And I'm just watching where that, backing up a little, just watching up towards the ceiling where the web comes from, or however high up the wall, see if anything moves.
Yeah, you see the same dripping as you're kind of watching up the wall. The spider web is ginormous. It goes from floor to ceiling, but you don't see any movement based on the meat being thrown, aside from the vibrations through the web.
Okay. Well, after y'all.
All right, 12:18. As you're walking forward with Bitsworth, you get a little bit closer to this area over here, and indeed, you can't see past it. This rock is a little more rounded than the one that was at the entrance to the cave, but it seems to be kind of doing the same thing as that one was. It looks to be blocking something in that direction. As you're getting kind of closer, can I get a survival roll if anybody is investigating this area specifically?
What area?
The area where you see like all the rubble, and the big boulder kind of blocking it. And you finally let Big Papa drop. And Anders, you feel as you let go of Big Papa, you feel kind of like a circle of life moment, and you kind of glance over to the fetid grossness over here, and you kind of get like a weird connection of like, I'm creating a new one.
What?
Creating a new mess.
Yeah.
A new growth.
A new pocket
area.
of grossy.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Athy, you, there's lots of little rocks next to this big rock.
Want me to have a look?
Too busy being light.
I'll go have a look. I think I'm my highest wisdom.
Sorry, I was muted. You said a survival check for anybody who wants to look at that, correct?
Yeah, if you go on over.
Yeah. Oh, shit. We'll take that 12.
We'll take that 12.
Laptops.
Yeah.
How about
okay.
a 23?
All right, so 12:18, you're like, there's lots of little rocks near the big rock, and Bishop's like, hold on a second. Yeah, he's right, and they're the same color as the big rock. Strange. And Julie comes up, puts the infrared goggles on her head, and is like, guys, you don't see these marks here on the ground, and Julie, you're able to clearly point out there is like depressions underneath this rock, the big one, that looks like it's been moved before.
Hey, Anders.
Yeah?
How do you feel about pushing a boulder?
I feel pretty good about pushing boulder.
There's handholds down at the bottom. Looks like someone grabbed it and rolled it.
Alright. I walk on up.
This cavern continues down over here, does it?
Down that way, as you guys are getting close. All right, yeah, you guys see, it seems to kind of curve around a little bit, but that's as far as you guys can kind of see. You start to see You guys didn't see any real vines or anything until right about here, kind of along with the dripping water. You guys kind of see some of those vines dribbling down over here, but not to the ground or anything. But towards this area here, you guys see more vegetation from the ceiling. So, Anders, you come up to the rock, and Julie's like, there's handholds right here. And you're like, those are just divots in a rock, and they don't seem like your handholds, but you see what she's talking about in terms of this could be moved.
Bishop will assist.
Yeah, whoever is moving it.
I'm just gonna keep my ass down this path as they're gonna move this boulder.
Atheltix? Athletics.
What?
Oh, didn't mean to roll that, but athletics check.
Yes, that is true. I'm like, what did he just say? Yes, athletics.
You know, Atheltix.
You yeah. So Anders, Bishop's like, no. Put your you gotta put palms up, not palms down. You gotta kind of hold it like this, and he's trying to help you out, and you rock it a little bit. How are you doing this exactly? Are you kind of pulling it towards you and are you trying to roll it this way or push it this way?
We're trying to move it in whichever direction that Julie indicated that it was moved before, like moved previously.
All Julie can see is that there is like digging have been done or some disturbed something all along the edges here. It doesn't have, like, there's no indication of boulder marks this way or anything. It looks like there is kicked up rubble all around it.
I'm going to try to pull.
Yeah, pull works.
Is this a pull door or is it a push door?
Yeah, you're trying to pull it towards you, and it rocks a little bit, but it did not move.
Can I try push?
Yeah, go ahead. That would be a whole separate, yeah.
Yep, again at advantage.
That gives a little more leeway. This you were trying to pull it towards you before, and it was like almost trying to go over, like maybe there was a stone that you couldn't see underneath it that was just hooking it. But this way, you're able to kind of rock it forward a little notch at a time. It seems to move in little increments. It's a very dimpled rock, but you're able to get some momentum and you kind of move forward. And as you're kind of like, you've got one hand on it going up, and then one hand coming down, and meeting that hand and trying to kind of roll it out of the way, you start to gain some momentum. And I need a dex save from you, sir.
Would it be needed from the both of us, since I was assisting?
No, once he got the momentum, I don't think Bishop would have kind of continued. I mean, you were helping, but I don't think you were really able to fit in there in a helpful way. I think it's just going to be him.
Okay.
But you kind of see Anders gaining some momentum, and you're like, yeah, go! And then all of a sudden, Anders, you walk to the point that you're on right now, and you guys see, actually, you walk to right here. And you, before you even get a chance to really act, you're like, there's some of these vine thingies on the sides here, as one of them is snaked around your foot, and you are flipped upside down. And you're going to take 5 damage.
This is the story all about how.
Yes, exactly. thick vine flips you upside down and holds you about 6-7 feet off the ground. And you take 5 damage as it kind of the gross slime starts to dissolve away some of your flesh. And as you're dangling there, you kind of are twirling, and Bishop, you're like, oh dang. And I need.
It'd be more like, oh fuck, shotgun.
I need a wisdom save from both of you, I think. Yeah, just Anders and Bishop. Wisdom save, please.
Okay.
You must resist being charmed by the...
Yeah, the vines, they look real good tonight. Oh, God. Okay, yeah, so, Anders, this all happens really fast. You get yanked up, upside down, and it sizzles away some of the flesh on your thing. And Bishop, almost instinctively, you whip around one of your guns, and as you're getting ready to shoot at something that you don't exactly see there just yet, from the side of the wall up here, about 8 feet up, you see this mist poof out of the wall, kind of angled down towards Anders' face directly. Anders, your mouth is apparently gaped open in accepting it like a breath spray or some sort. And you
now got another hidden gem.
It's a minty fresh taste that Bishop you're able to kind of avoid. But Anders, you are effectively you are under the calm emotion spell for the next 30 minutes.
Ah, what the fuck? Oh, okay.
And you're just kind of dangling there. What are you guys doing?
I'm going to shoot towards the ceiling from where the vine is coming from.
I was going to look at 1218, the one with the silent, sharp weapon, and then I hear a shotgun go off.
Yeah, 1218 was getting his hatchet, because it's what they're used for generally. Then sighs, or wood, if he had lungs.
Yeah.
No, guys, it's all right. This is kind of cool.
Yeah, you're feeling, chill, Anders. You're like, it's all good. I mean, it's just eating a little flesh. What's a little flesh, right? Bishop, you go bang! Things happen very quickly. You instinctively, you're just like, guns, they kill things. He needs to be down and the ground area, so I will make that happen with my bang stick. And you simultaneously bang as 1218 sighs, and Julie's like, okay.
I go into this nice happy corner, go prone, and and aim with my gun in case anything is going to come and bite us.
Yeah, with that, you guys feel, Anders, you hear that same, because you were the one who specifically really heard that sound, you hear that same sound again. It is much louder, and the ground shakes to the point where you kind of are tossed back and forth a little bit, like a swing now on the vine. And then the sound stops.
It just goes off once, and then...
Yeah, you just heard it once. Same as before, just louder and now more earth-shattering than before. And I apologize, we'll just have to pretend the boulder is the blue circle. The blue circle. And Anders, I mean, you did a good job. You rolled it out of the way.
And I shot the vines that was holding him.
You did. You shot the vine that was holding him. Yes. So you shot the vine that was holding him, and he seems to be twirling in a fast circle from your shot, but it is still holding on. And you see, you don't have... Yeah, you can see up there. The light from 1218 kind of looking in your direction. You shot at the vine that was holding him, but looking up, there's this intricate network of vines right in this area, directly above here, that kind of writhes at your shot and kind of tries to absorb the damage through multiple little viney bits. And you see a couple of tendrils curl up like octopus tentacles, and then unfurl again.
If only I had the Molotov.
How many times have you said that?
Quite a few times, actually.
So
Because-
many.
Many problems
Fire
can be
and
solved with
explosives
Molotov.
fix everything.
1218, do you want to just, chop?
And you will go inspect the situation. Does it look does it look like acid or something that's like eating away? Like, can he see that's happening?
Like
Ooh.
what damage is causing the flesh damage on
Yeah.
Anders? Yeah, it's very similar to the kind of gross stuff that was happening, if you guys remember, before your bug fight. What that vine was doing, it was kind of like dissolving, like pre-digesting some of the flesh off of Anders. It's similar. It's like
Probably
an
a few
acidy.
wisps of smoke.
Is he with like if could 1218 reach to try to like hack at the vine from where he is, or is Anders up too high?
Anders is up very high. He is off so he's 15 feet. Anders is what, like 6 feet something? So he's like, I want to say he's about 8 feet off the ground is where his head starts. So unless you climb on something or use Bitsworth, can't really hack at it. You could throw something at it.
Yes, can he climb Anders?
Oh,
Climb.
yeah, I'm sure that won't hurt him. Mhm.
Well, Anders can just go with it because calm emotions.
He wouldn't
Yeah, do whatever
really
you want.
matter.
This is not his forte at all. What, an athletics to climb Anders?
Yes, yeah, give me an athletics to climb Anders.
They just kind of swing. They swing.
How much do you weigh again, 1218?
Not a terrible amount. They apparently weigh as much as normal people do, according to
Alrighty. Anders, take another 4 bits of acidy digestitive damage as the thing tries to hold on to you more as you somehow have gained more meat weight. Or so it thinks. And 1218, you not that you knew the human experience of the rope climb in school, but you're like, okay, I get up here, I cross my 2 leg devices and lock them on the head knot, and then I just climb up. And you, your one leg device wasn't communicating with the other, jams itself in Anders' mouth for a second, and then you topple off.
And then he remembers that he moves upon a single wheel.
Okay.
18, give me a boost. I got this.
Yeah, we'll hand him a hatchet. Well,
I have a
18's
machete,
not
so-
very strong.
Just stand still and act like another pole for me to climb on.
13.
Definitely not
13
something
manage.
that should have been discussed before climbing the Anders. I'm sorry, so what's going on?
1218's getting climbed now.
Mhm.
By Ethan.
Oh, okay. So, okay, sorry. So,
Ethan, the climber, is going to
Ethan is like, I've got a roof finally, and clambers on top of 1218, and is like, I've got this. What do you have? What's the goal here, Ethan?
I want to, slowly but surely get on top of 1218, and then just, grab onto Anders.
Don't
Okay.
touch the
No.
vine
Sorry.
itself.
If I'm tall enough on like sitting on 1218's shoulders, if I can reach the vines, that'll work.
Okay, if you're sitting on 1218's shoulders, you can probably reach like the middle of his leg to hack at it from there. If you're sitting on 1218's shoulders, give me an athletics. If you're trying to get any higher, give me acrobatics.
I will do acrobatics.
Just say, like,
For
don't
the
touch
showman.
the actual vine. Just
Yeah, I'm just gonna chop off Hender's leg.
He'd be cool with
Acrobatics.
Yeah. You're like, you're sitting for a second. And you're like, nah, no, I got this. Hold on, and you put your feet on 1218's shoulders and take a whack, and you're able to cut. What are you hitting with? Your machete, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're able to hack at the vine that is still grabbing onto Anders' leg. And Anders, you drop to the ground.
Ow.
Yeah, you drop on kind of like your neck shoulder area and flop to the ground. Yeah, you're off now, and you move the boulder. It's a good day.
Ooh, yeah.
And-
Wow.
While all that was happening, no other movement, no other sounds, no,
Other than that one loud one and the earth shaking that you heard, nothing else.
Speaking of that noise, did it come from down further into the cave, like below us, or?
Yeah, you heard it off in this direction for the noise, but the whole area shook. The people that were over here hiding stealthily, Anders up on the vines, everything had a good shake.
Wonderful. Alrighty. There's more cave to keep exploring.
Anders, you fell in such a way that as you flop and your head kind of lops to the side, you can kind of see a little bit more over in this area. Even without just getting up and moving, you see... You see some rocks over here, and you see what looks to be like a little... like a pot or something? Like a circular something or other over this way.
Am I still under the effects of calm emotions?
You are indeed, sir.
What's that thing over there? And I'm going to get up and I'm going to start walking over to it.
What'd you find?
The
All right.
cooking pot.
Well, that's odd.
Yeah, walking over there, as you get a little bit closer, you see decidedly two sets of larger rocks on either side. You see a bit of a little bit fresher greenery growing over here. And this thing that looked like some kind of pot or something, it is a little fire pot. It looks like a little metal thing that's holding some coals and some wood bits, and it looks to have housed a fire. Not recently, it's not warm, but there's ash in there. You get the impression that that's what that's for. You also see, it's a little hard to see, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit. You see a different mound of earth right over here. It looks to be a different color than the earth that surrounds it, and it's piled up a couple feet high, but it is a large mound. And next to it, you see a very carefully wrapped together bundle of flowers.
I'm going to walk over and pick them up.
You're going to walk over and do what?
Pick them up.
Yeah, you pick them up, and when you pick them up, you're kind of, looking around a little bit, and you see some footprints, specifically right, where you are, and Ethan, you see them by the rocks that you are, and there's some over by the other rocks as well.
Do they lead anywhere in particular?
They just seem to kind of do a strange, like, trifecta of, this rock, this here, this rock, back to this thing. It looks to be, maybe a couple sets of the same size that you guys have, and then one that is decidedly larger and differently shaped. There's less and more prominent toes.
Hmm.
I think it might be safe to assume that this is a grave site.
A mound, some flowers. I'd have to agree.
I'm gonna not pick up the flowers at the last second.
Okay. Yeah, they smell pretty nice. I mean, they're very similar to what you guys would know as lilacs right now. They actually are the first nice thing you guys have decidedly smelled that is pleasurable in a while.
I sit down on the rock.
It seems to cradle your butt in a way that puts you towards the mound. Butt impressions. Undersized.
It's the impression that I get.
That's the impression that you get. You see a large stick kind of towards the wall here, Anders. It's a long, like tree limb almost sized, and the last like foot or so of this 7-foot stick has a bunch of like ash and soot at the end of it. It looks to be something that maybe stirred whatever was in there.
So are we going to dawdle for the dead people, or are we going to move on?
Give me a minute.
His emotions, they're weird. Give him a sec.
All right, let's go.
Right.
Yeah, and transparency's sake, Anders, you have about 10 minutes left on calm emotions.
All right. Ducking down when I go back through this area.
Yes, the vines, while they kind of curl and ravel themselves back up, like a weird, nobody asked for it curtain of vines, they don't reach out for you in particular. Julie, what is your passive perception, and I know you said you were trying to hide and, be in the darkness up there. You're just moving normally now, correct?
I'm moving slowly and against the wall. And my passive is 16.
Okay. All right, and as 1218 kind of joins you guys with Bitsworth, Julie's kind of taking the lead, going along the edges there. You guys are able to finally see kind of this curve around here. You're able to see it descends into further darkness. You guys can see what looks to be the rough formation of very rudimentary handmade stairs. Nothing that looks very man-made, but it's a general it gradually dips down into darkness that you guys can't quite make out down that way.
Well, yeah. Shall we press on?
Don't see why not.
No, do I?
As you all get a little bit closer, you see that this drops down. The top step looks very rough, but from the second step that you can see, and the third is probably about the last you can clearly make out as it drops way down. Actually, stop right there. It looks a little more crisp, a little more clearly man-made. And 1218. I need you to please... Yep. And can you please give me a dex save? All right, so 1218, as you are kind of proceeding forward with Bitsworth, you walk forward a bit, and there is a strange sound. Julie, what you see is what you're going to have to describe to everybody. You see a plank of wood come up in your face and almost hit you underside of your chin. Like a seesaw going up. And you guys just see the underside of a large plank of wood that takes up this entire space across the corridor here. 1218, you are falling. You are falling down what looks to be a chute or a hole of some kind. If you would like to try and describe what you'd like to do to stop that, you're welcome to, but you are currently falling.
How big is it? This whole area?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what you had, you stepped on something and it dropped out from under you. Now the dirt is falling off of this plank of wood, and it's falling into this hole.
Where does the plank start? Where does the hole start?
I can draw. I will draw it. Let's see here. Why is it red? Gross. So the plank lifts up and goes in Julie's face. It extends up in the air about 5 to 6 feet. And Julie, you are blocked from seeing what goes on over here. The plank continues to about here, 1218, but it is now dropped towards the ground. I'm thinking it looks like a seesaw, like something that...
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I get it.
Like you get to a certain point and it goes, oh, too much weight on this side, flump. Julie, you can't see what's going on, but you hear metal scraping against wood and maybe whatever alert sound 1218 has.
Alarm noise.
I don't think that Bitsworth would necessarily follow you unless he has to.
No.
Well, he just makes
I don't think there's not enough time for the help, but can he like as he's realizing he's falling, sort of like maybe acrobatics, like lurch forward to try to like at least grab onto this other edge here?
Yes, give me an
just like when he feels himself falling, just like swing his top half forward to try to grab.
Yeah, you're trying to grab onto whatever is in this tunnel to stop yourself from falling as fast, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the edge at the top, if possible, or just Scrabble. Where are you at?
All right.
Acrobatic.
Ooh.
Boom.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good acrobatics.
As you go to grab the side of that plank, as the plank comes down, you're encountered with the slope below, where the slope connects with the ground ahead of you. You go to grab and reach out and grab forward. The chute part that's trying to get you to go down is made of metal. And electrifies as you go to grab it. So I'm going to need, before your acrobatics, I'll need a Constitution save at disadvantage.
Okay. Okay. I'm trying to picture how it's working in my head, and it's not forming. Constitution save at disadvantage?
Yeah, as you're literally grounding yourself onto there.
Jerk. Not as well.
As you go to reach forward, you're able to get forward, like enough motion to forward tumble, to get yourself above the ground, to prevent yourself from falling down. You'll end up taking 3 electrical damage. And you're going to end up temporarily unconscious, or temporarily deactivated.
So we're just like hanging there?
It's no, you've grabbed the side, and you were going through to tumble forward onto the solid ground, and you're able to accomplish that at the cost of having to ground yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, while you take minimal damage, that does leave you at a state of non-operation for right now.
When she lands on the other side, the planks reset?
Or is it still kind of up in the air?
Is there mutedness?
DMs.
So as the plank comes down, Julie, you see 1218. You see Bitsworth hovering in the air, kind of awkwardly, and you see 1218 not
slumped,
broken, but just laying on the ground
off.
on the side. Yeah, with the face off.
Okay.
So is the board attached to something in the middle?
I think I understand how it works. It's like, fuck, that's in the darkness. I can't draw there.
Yeah, they described it as a seesaw.
There. So that's like a little. So that dot in the center is like a little axle. And here's the wooden weight, but there's a weight. There's like a little thing there keeping it from falling down. So when you're standing here, it goes down. And this is all electrocuted. I think. Am I getting that right?
Yes, so it's a seesaw plank. When the back end comes up, the front end goes. I'm sorry. And that's hidden. There we go. When this end goes up, this end goes down. And unbeknownst to the party and to anyone who's awake, but there is metal underneath.
So 1218 makes it on the other side, and you hear like a... not like a seesaw. Well, yeah, you hear that, but not like a seesaw, but...
Trapdoor.
Not even. Like, you know a trap... Julie, especially. You know a trapdoor sounds like wood just... Okay, now that the weight is gone, it should flap back up and kind of whatever. You hear like a metallic... like almost a hydraulic psh sound, and it slams back into place. And you see an unconscious unconscious 1218 on the other side. Sorry.
That's not good.
How long are the planks?
The one, it is one solid plank that you saw. that tilted, and it is the entire width of this. It is shaped to fit this entire area.
So, 10 foot long about. And then 10 feet. Can I make a 10-foot jump? What is jumping?
Ethan is sure as hell gonna try.
So is Bishop.
Ethan backs up, and he's gonna try and jump. I'll leave my
I
book
was
in
an
there, but
athlete, so
before
I
the
was
roll.
going to go first, but
Nah.
Yeah, Bishop and Ethan are basically doing this simultaneously.
All right, give me a second here.
Ethan's like, oh shit, robot friend, and then he tries to the jump.
Never actually looked up long jump before. Hold on.
I think
Long
it's
jump.
yeah, 5 plus your dex mod.
No, what long jump is if you get a 10-foot running start, you can jump a distance up to your strength score. There are other things that can modify it, I believe.
Can I argue acrobatics? As I gracefully leap over this.
Acrobatics would probably be you trying to climb up the gross, viney fucking
Yeah.
nastiness.
Fair enough.
Anders thinks.
No. Argue acrobatics if I try and wall run a little bit.
Strength score or strength modifier?
I believe it's strength score.
So it's strength score
Okay,
to be able to jump, and you can long jump a number of feet equal to your strength score, as long as you have at least a 10-foot running start.
Okay, I take 5 feet and I jump because I'm an athlete. I have a strength score of 11. And this is rightly about 9 to 9.5 feet long.
Yes, so Julie, as you are attempting to clear it first, that's going to be... Okay, so what is the order that I'm getting here? I'm getting Julie's jumping first, and then Ethan and Bishop are trying to twinsies it.
Ethan backs up like 10 feet, and Julie just kind of runs the only 5 that she needs.
Okay, yeah, so there's a little bit less travel time for Julie. Julie, as you land...
And I'm aiming.
Yeah, you're looking
at
at near exact.
I'll be about a foot over. And I'm just aiming for where 1218's body is, where I know it'll support weight. I will grab onto Bitsworth if I have to.
Bitsworth has a strength of 4.
So, Julie, as you're jumping across, you can very easily clear the gap. The issue is sticking a landing that doesn't knock you backwards. So I'm going to need...
And just fall onto 1218, accept your fate.
I'm going to need an athletics check. I'm sorry. I'm going to need an acrobatics check. As you are landing on 1218 to make sure that there are no other issues.
11.
As you clear the gap, you land on top of 1218, and your footing isn't the greatest. As you are on her square, roll a d8. 1 is to the north, and then we'll go the other directions. You're taking 1 step.
Three.
And a 3 puts you on this side.
And I'm just gonna grab hold of Bitsworth to try to steady myself as I tumble.
Yeah, after you clear yourself of 1218, that's fine.
And then I know the others are gonna start jumping, so I'm turning, holding on to Bitsworth, and I'm just holding my arm out. So when they land, I can yank them forward instead of backwards.
Yeah, I
Help.
and this is where everybody's staying, Julie, on this side. Because you would functionally be able to hold on to Bitsworth to
I was just
try to
using
help.
him to just steady myself and be ready to catch the arms of whoever was coming. So I'll basically throw the first one this way, and then just pull the other one onto 1218.
It's starting to get a little bit crowded on that side. You should be able to move people around, but it's going to get harder towards the end to find a stable landing spot.
Yeah. I assume they're coming regardless of what I was doing because they were following right after me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just making sure that they don't have to fall back.
Yeah, you're just running out of like space aside from tossing, an unconscious 1218 down the stairs or one of the people. So you can absolutely help them, but probably the last one, possibly two, will be at disadvantage to just land anywhere because there's just bodies and bitsworths and vines and shit everywhere. But Ethan, you were next in line.
Yeah,
You are
Ethan's gonna back up, and he's gonna aim for this little open spot. Best he can.
So no help, but no chance of really falling back because you're kind of around a curve.
Yeah. And I can jump up to 10 feet.
Yeah, then you're
So-
actually good. I mean, feel free to roll it if you want, but you're good.
If I ever have to go a longer distance, I'll try and style it.
Yeah.
But I'll get there, and then he will very, very precariously take like a step to the top. Just
Okay.
to make room.
Can you, before we take who's next in line, Ethan, can you give me a perception check?
Sure thing. $18.
Yeah, you still can't really see down there because the stairs seem to go pretty far down, and it's pretty dark down there, but, you hear some kind of, something alive, breathing. You hear like something sniffing. And that is all. Next.
So Bishop can clear this no problem. However, me being me, I want to actually do something a little fancy. I am going to take my running start for my 11 feet of distance. However, what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically run onto the seesaw thing. And when it activates, I want to use it to assist me in propelling my jump forward.
Because at angle, I see you.
Since I know it's going to trigger whenever something steps on it, or at least I'm assuming it's going to trigger when something steps on it.
Okay, so let me, because this thing is hard to explain. So, like, the way this thing works is 1218 activated it because 1218 got to a certain point and tipped the weight. Or at least that's kind of what you guys could see from that angle.
And we heard something hydraulic slam it back.
You did. So while you saw this happen because of weight, you saw it unnaturally jam itself back into there. So I don't think you could realistically know for sure if that thing would try and shoot you down the chute based on where you're putting your weight, or if it will do that cool fucking shooty thing and assist you gliding through the air. So you take the risk of I mean, do you want the cool move at the risk of possibly being shot down the place where 1218 was? If it's worth it, I say totally go for it. But, like, it's not just you walking up to this corner of it where that went in the air that
Right.
would
It's
activate it.
basically once you get
Yeah.
over 5 feet over it is where it'll dump you. I mean, screw it. I'm doing my run, and I am going to end up on the back half of it. And basically, I'm prepared for it to tip, so I am jumping once I'm at that point. Yes.
So go ahead and make an acrobatics roll.
Let's see if it tips the other way. I don't think so.
All right. And as you make your running start, it actually works exactly the way you anticipate it, and you're also able to get a good spring. Where are you trying to land?
If I'm able to get a good spring, the clear side of 1218.
Oh yeah,
Basically right next to Ethan.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're able to, calculate out where you want to be, how you want to do, where you want to go.
Yep. Springboard! Whee! Tuck and roll.
And you literally roll right over 1218 Anders. That just leaves you.
I am going to no frills, get a running start, and jump into this space. My strength score is 14.
I'm still holding up my hand in case I need to catch someone.
No, thank you, though. What's going on with nuts and bolts?
Okay, so Anders, as you hit your landing, Peyton is listening downwards, trying to hear some noise. It looks like he's really focused on it. Can you give me acrobatics or athletics, whichever one you prefer, to see how well you... Okay. So you think you might have overestimated your jump just a little bit. You almost bump into Ethan, who is precariously perched downstairs, but you're able to stabilize yourself a little bit with Julie's assistance. Probably could have done it on your own, but it was there.
All right.
Julie, you're sweeping?
Yeah, as
Okay.
as everyone lands, me using my bonus action to sweep.
Yeah. So things happen pretty fast with everybody jumping over and 1218 going down and still being unconscious and like the plank jumping back into place unnaturally. That you didn't really get a good chance to inspect the area now. With this sweep, you are able to see placed pretty darn close to where the wall meets the ceiling over here. You see what looks to be a blinking red light. And a reflective circle kind of pointed down in this direction.
Okay.
And at the sniffing sounds, I think whether or not Ethan tells you all this, as everybody's like, oh my god, 1218 UK, and Julie's like, what the hell is that up there? And Anders is like, oh my god, I made that jump, that was awesome. And Bitsworth is beeping unhappily because 1218 is unconscious. Whether or not Ethan tells you guys about the sniffing, I think that's where we'll end it for this evening. You sharing the sniff knowledge?
I think he's...
That's quote of the night.
It should have been the title of the episode.
Can be the title of the YouTube vid.
We'll assume yes. It's like, guys.
But I probably would have caught the sniffing sound with my sweep anyway.
If it happened when you were looking for it, which it seems to have not happened. So you were sweeping a few seconds after Ethan was like, so, okay, I'm over here. He heard it, caught it, and that was it. It didn't come back again. It's not currently happening, so if any of you are stopped listening, you don't hear it now. Maybe Ethan did lick that mushroom after all.
Can I use mechanics tools to fix the robot?
1218/Athy, didn't you I know you asked a question about prepping Bitsworth with one of those reboot things. Did you have one to prep him with?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I assume that even though you're unconscious, you could have pre-programmed Bitsworth to be like, if down, then stab. If you want to do that.
Which is another great sentence.
If down, then stab.
I'm back. Sorry.
Otherwise, okay, we just basically played your character for a second. You know, you told everybody about the sniffing.
As one does.
But yeah, if you think that you hadn't had time to program Bitsworth for that real quick, Julie, you can use mechanics tools.
I am not sure how it works, really. Like,
I mean, the way that I see that is just communicating. Like, you're giving him basic actions. This is basically just another basic. If I'm non-operational, put this in me.
Mm-hmm. Simple logic.
Bitsworth, take
so that
this
would take 2
sharp
seconds.
metal thing and stab it in my body if I fall unconscious.
Yeah, I think considering the episode you were missing, 1218 would have also programmed Bitsworth to be like, if humans start taking copious amounts of drugs, stop software reset.
Wake me up.
Wake me up inside.
Before you go.
Wake me up before you go. Alright.
Yeah, so whatever way you want to do that, 1218 can be conscious again.
Okay. I'll have Bitsworth stab him. He'll get hit points back. And then there's
2d4
one
plus
left
2.
after that.
Yeah, Bitsworth was a little frazzled by like Julie coming over and kind of leaning on Bitsworth for help, and Bitsworth is like, "But thing went down. Must stab." Bitsworth eventually stabs you, brings you back up 1218, and you recall what we described and can communicate that since they only just kind of heard what happened. It was like a metal-y shoot. You heard some kind of metal mechanism, try and drop you down and then zap you. But you couldn't see too far down before everything that happened. It went down, and it seemed to curve to this way.
Which way?
This way. It seemed to curve around.
Likely to drop us into a holding cell of some sort.
Well, that wouldn't be good. Oh, it also ain't good. The breathing. You mind shining your flashlight down the stairs?
Face.
Glad you're alive.
Face on.
Alright. We should end it here, because we got princes
But we
starting
don't wanna.
in a little bit. Well, so sorry.
And remember, this episode is brought to you by McDonald's Wi-Fi.
Oh, that's right.
Still on McDonald's Wi-Fi?
Yep, I only got kicked off like 20 minutes ago and had to reconnect.
Nice. Alright.
Yeah.
Well, you guys didn't get separated. Good job. And you didn't get eated.
All of us almost did.
And we didn't desecrate a grave.
Very low.
Not
Which
a
is
grave,
better than
just
most
a couple
parties.
bodies, but not a grave.
I'm talking about with the fire bowl and the flowers and the mound.
I'm talking about a big radioactive, big toothed little carcass that you left back there like it was a discarded toy.
Yeah,
I'm
but
still
no
upset that we
humanoid.
didn't
I mean,
find
it
the
is.
lizard.
Swear to God, if you try to manhandle another fucking animal, well,
could've-
it is
This time I
actively
have
trying to kill us.
the proper food for it. I was gonna use one of the mole rat bodies. I was gonna just get on up to like feed him and like maybe give him some head pats.
Did you take one of those with you? Put it in your bag for later?
Little Frank might be a little horrified if you did.
Yeah, I would not have done that.
Separate compartments.
It's like, are you gonna like use little Frank
Oh.
to trade up?
It's a trade-up. He's cashing in his use pet for a new one.
There's no
Yep.
trade-ups, only additions. I was so tempted to have Ethan just stop in the middle of combat and raise a single biscuit into the air when all of the mole rats were there.
If the lizard had appeared, I was going to immediately tell you to make an animal handling check.
That
Yeah.
worked out really well for you before.
Hey, I got a very low roll.
He's one for two.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know, his
you know.
success rate's 50%.
Those are
Anywhere
odds
else
I'm
that
willing
would
to
be
take.
considered a failure and a fireable offense.
Best 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
Plus, this one already comes with its own collar. I mean, I bet you could find a food bowl too, and you'd be all set. Anywho, let's get you a new pet, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's continue playing. Get him a new pet.
He definitely doesn't have an adorable name, I promise. Squee!
We got little Frank and Big Bertha.
I don't know. Can we get a radioactive lizard professionally sexed in this wasteland?
Ugh, let's not have that be the sentence. Professionally sexed? What the fuck?
That's the term to
Ooh.
determine
Yeah.
the sex of an animal.
Like with baby chicks, you squeeze their back end a little bit. And if they got a bump, they're a boy. If they don't, they're a girl.
So
That's the word for
odd.
the thing I mean.
Well,
Yeah, sure. Andrew's in your pre-war terminology.
Ben talking.
it really won't be that hard to figure out Hungrix's
Whoa, watch
Oh,
your
that's
name.
I mean,
end stream.
Yeah, seriously. We're ending it on like a Montel. And to find out the gender next week. Okay, bye.
Yep. I'm going to go home and see if my Wi-Fi's back.
Best
Not
of
uncooked
luck.